Hey, I'm Callie. Thank you for watching Graceland Online. We exist to see lives transformed in the neighborhoods, the generations, and the nations through Jesus Christ. In a few moments, you're going to hear a teaching that's based on the Bible, and we believe it will be inspiring and relevant to your life. And we know that a lot of people are searching for answers to tough questions on how to navigate life. And if that's you, we would love for you to text us at 812-432-2234 with any questions or any way that we might be able to help you. Again, thank you for watching Graceland Online. We're praying for you, and we hope that this service will be an encouragement to you on your spiritual journey.
Welcome to Graceland Online, and thank you so much. Thanks so much for tuning in to this episode today. Oh man, if you're watching this on today's drop date, then today is December 27th of 2020. And I hope that you've had a great Christmas. Merry Christmas. And while this Christmas is certainly different and one that we will never forget, I actually realized that a lot of things were still the same for us in the Brown household. One of the things that was normal for me was that my kids asked me and my wife for so many presents for Christmas. And I mean a lot of things. Can you relate? In fact, my daughter Evie, she made a crazy long list of all the things that she wanted. She asked for an iPhone 12. She asked for a MacBook. She asked for some Apple EarPods and just a host of other things that she wrote down and things that we will not get her. I mean, come on, she's only 9 years old. And I've already told her a million times that she's not getting a phone for quite some time. But kids ask their parents for things regularly, don't they? And around Christmas time, it seems like that it's just really ramped up. And this Christmas has been no different for me and my wife, Jenny. Now, my son Roman, he's just 5 years old, but he made sure that he would get in on the action for asking Dad for plenty of stuff. However, he's not nearly as organized as Evie. In fact, he's the type of kid that whenever he would go to a store, he would see something, and then that is the thing that he would want for Christmas. He just had to have it. In fact, he'd go into a store and he'd say, Dad, can I go and just look at the toys? I promise, I won't want to get anything. But like every 5-year-old, as soon as he gets over to the toys, he begins saying, hey, Dad, I want this for Christmas. Dad, I want that for Christmas. It's common for sons, it's common for daughters to ask moms and dads for things. Of course, it's for themselves, right? It's common for children to ask parents for things, usually, again, for themselves. But it's a lot less likely for kids to ask their parents for things for other people. Over the past few weeks, we've had a wonderful opportunity to spend some time talking about a man named Jesus. We've asked some really difficult but really important questions. We've asked, who is Jesus? We've asked, why did Jesus come to earth? We've asked, what does Christmas mean? And what does it have to do with this man named Jesus? Now, in his short amount of time on earth, we have several historical accounts of what Jesus did actually with his time. We know that he was born in an incredible way. We know that he performed miracles. We know that he healed the sick and he calmed the storms. We know that he raised the dead to life. And we know that he just spoke with such great authority as he taught. But one thing that we know about Jesus, and we know that he did, is something we don't talk about nearly as often as some of those other things. It's the fact that Jesus would ask for things. And maybe like you, and certainly I know like me, we see that Jesus would regularly ask for things from his Father. Now, while we don't have time to look at all of the accounts of where Jesus spoke to his Father, who, by the way, his Father is God, I'd like to spend some time looking at one particular account where he does this, where he talks to God the Father. Now, this conversation, and otherwise known as prayer, it can actually be found in the Bible, in the book of John. And if you have some time, I would encourage you just to read the whole prayer. It's the entire chapter 17 in the book of John. But from this prayer, I want to share with you a question. And it's probably a question you've not asked before. Maybe some of you have asked this question. But the question is this. Really ponder this for just a moment. Did Jesus pray for me? Did Jesus pray for me? Did Jesus pray for you? Did he ever go to God and ask for things on your behalf? Now, before we look into this question, before we look into this prayer from John 17, I want to tell you up front that I believe that Jesus did pray for everyone. We know that Jesus prayed to God on behalf of sinners. He says, "Forgive them, for they know not what they do." So I believe that Jesus has prayed for you, whether you actually have a saving faith in him or not, whether you believe in him or not. However, with that understanding, I really want us to spend our time together diving a bit deeper into the prayer from John 17. And if you're not familiar with this story or where we are in the story in John, let me give you a little bit of context for what's happening. So Jesus, he's born of a virgin named Mary. He is sent to God, to this earth, to live a perfect life. And when Jesus was around 30 years old, he began his earthly ministry, or began to fulfill his mission on earth. Now, he only lived around 3 years on earth while doing ministry. And what he would do is he'd go from place to place, performing miracles. He would be telling people all about the kingdom of God. And you can actually read about those things, those historical things in the Bible, specifically in the books of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Those are called the gospel accounts of Jesus. But there were some people in charge that did not like what Jesus was doing, didn't like what he was teaching. They wanted to maintain their power. They wanted to maintain their position. And they felt like that Jesus was too radical. He was changing everything. Now, because of this, those religious leaders actually would plot together to kill Jesus. But Jesus knew this. And this prayer in John 17 is actually the one that Jesus would pray to God right before he was to be arrested. And soon after he was arrested, he would be put on trial, and then he would be killed. But in the waning hours of his physical life on earth, Jesus was praying. Jesus was praying to God that God would be glorified, that Jesus would be glorified. And he was praying because he had finished his work on earth, and he was praying for people. And I believe he prays for two distinct groups of people in this prayer in John 17. So here, I guess, let me ask you, did Jesus pray for you? First group of people we see him praying for, though, are those that have put their faith and trust in Jesus. In John 17:9, he actually says to God, the Father, "I am praying for them, those who have believed in me. I'm praying for them, and I'm not praying for the world, but for those that you have given to me." Jesus asks God, he says, keep them from the evil one, who the evil one is Satan. Keep them from the evil one, and don't take them from the world. He actually prays to God that God would help them grow in truth. He prays for them as they are then sent into the world to share about him, to share about Jesus. Do you know Jesus as your Lord and Savior? If so, take comfort in knowing that Jesus has prayed for you. He prayed for you right before he went to the cross to die for you, because you are his, and he loves you, and he's actually glorified in you. We find that out later in the prayer. But I think the second group of people we see Jesus pray for are those that will put their faith and trust in him. In John 17:20, he goes on to say, "I do not ask for these only, those that believe in me, but also for those that will believe in me through the spreading of the word for those that do believe in him." He knows that the truth about him will spread. He knows that it's going to reach the ears. He knows that it's going to reach the hearts of millions upon millions upon millions of people. And maybe you're watching this video right now and you do not have faith in Jesus. Well, Jesus wants you to trust in him. The Bible teaches us that Jesus died as a ransom for all, and that God desires that all come to a saving faith in Jesus. Maybe you're watching this right now, and you're one of the ones that Jesus prayed about. You're one of the ones that will believe in him. I would invite you right now, in this very moment, to enter into a relationship with Jesus. If this is you, please just text us. There's going to be a number coming up on a screen right now. Text us anything that you might need to this number, 812-432-2234. Just text the word Jesus, or text, how can I be saved? Or maybe even just text your name in, and then we'll have somebody follow up with you. But we would love to invite you to know this Jesus. After this prayer, Jesus would go to die on a cross. And his sacrifice, it changed everything. It changed everything. Because of his death, we can have life. Because of his sacrifice, you can have freedom. Because he prayed for you, you can know him. Once again, we would just love to connect with you. If you have any questions about any of the things that we talked about today, I would invite you to just, again, text us at 812-432-2234. Thanks again for checking out this episode. Just be sure to hit that like button if you found anything here helpful. Also, be sure to share this with someone that you know who might have questions, who might be wondering something about this topic. Thank you so much again for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks again for watching Graceland Online. We hope that God spoke to you today through this message. And again, feel free to text us at 812-432-2234 if you have questions about what you heard, or if there's a way that we might be able to help you. And you can also find more videos and resources for students and for kids on our website, which is gracelandchurch.online. Thanks again for watching, and we hope that you'll join us again soon.